We're joined now by HuskerOnline Sean Callahan. Sean, would you agree with the assessment that Raiola looked like a, quote, freaking surgeon against UTEP, Sean?
I'll say for a true freshman making his first start in that moment on that stage, you just don't see a performance like that from a guy. And I don't care who the opponent is, to go out there, execute it, the situations of the 2-minute drill, 11 for 17 on third downs, which is one of the top 5 third down conversion marks now in the country as a team. He did the things that win football games later on in the year, and already, the way he manages the team and the respect he has, he doesn't feel like a freshman. So yeah, I think everybody had an expectation, but what he showed in that game on Saturday, really, I think it was even more than what the expectation was.
How much credit, loaded question, Sean, you give the offensive line?
Yeah, the offensive line was solid for Nebraska up front. The tackles gave up, I believe, 2 quarterback hurries on the game. No sacks. The sack that was given up was charged to kind of a miscommunication on a play and wasn't given to the offensive line. So for their first time out, I don't think you could be real critical at all. I mean, the grades on Pro Football Focus across the board were solid. Everybody was kind of in that 65 to 80 range, which they haven't had that type of score in a while as a group. So Donovan Raiola too has done a very good job of just getting this group better. Micah Mazuka has been a great addition. Ben Hart continues its improvement. Corcoran had a solid outing. Ben Scott looks like he's poised as well, and then Justin Evans I thought had a really solid day.
It's interesting, Sean. Bryce Benhart graded high once again. Do we just take him for granted now?
Well, he's a 6-year senior, and he was highly recruited too. I mean, he played in the Army or the All-American Bowl in San Antonio. I mean, It wasn't like he was just some 3-star developmental project or 2-star developmental guy that came here. I mean, he was highly regarded. I think for him it was more mental and development, and I feel like he's been developed. He was thrown on the field so quickly in his career that he had some ups and downs. Being on the field as a starter, as a redshirt freshman at that position is not easy. And I think we've seen him settle in, mature, and that talent that he came to Nebraska with. You're starting to see him play just consistently every week.
Sean Callahan joins us. Sean, it was Ramir Johnson get the first carry of the game, but it was Dante Dowdell the rest of that first drive. How surprised you to see him basically get most of the carries on the opening drive of the game?
Yeah, if you would have told me, guys, in the spring or even the start of camp that Dowdell would have probably flashed and looked the best of the 4, I think that would have been a surprise. I know in the spring, he was a ways back and it was learning and adjusting, to life at Nebraska. But give him credit; he has really turned the corner. He's big, he's physical, he's explosive, and in terms of recruiting, he was the highest regarded of that group. Oregon, he could have gone about anywhere he wanted. He went to Oregon, found himself in a crowded room there where he wasn't going to get on the field. And he played limitedly as a true freshman last year and saw an opportunity here. That's why he came to Nebraska. I remember talking to his stepfather, Lawrence Hopkins, about that. They looked at the situation, that there was a great opportunity for a guy to come in there. And they zoned in on Nebraska. They thought Nebraska was the place that gave him a great chance to play in a big time offense that was going to run the football with a quarterback now like Raiola.
Sean, you brought up something. I'm going to zoom out. I'm zooming out, Jake, Bill, to this something you brought up yesterday that was really interesting to me. The possibility, and we do this on this show a lot, a field storming possibility Saturday night. A field storming possibility. If Nebraska wins this game, do the students come out of the stands?
Yeah, it's definitely caused some debate on our shows and our message boards. There's a lot of comments and opinions on it that go both ways. Mm-hmm. And here's my thing: look, people are like, act like you've been there before. A lot of these younger fans, the students, they haven't been there before, guys. They've never freaking experienced anything good with Nebraska football. If the students want to do something to have fun, to enjoy the night, let them do it. I mean, Colorado did it the last 2 times they've beaten Nebraska. It could be the last time these 2 teams play. The you get an older Nebraska fans like, we're a blue blood program, we're above doing that. Well, Nebraska has the longest bowlless streak in the country. I mean, you've got to, I wouldn't be upset at all if the students wanted to do something and have fun like that. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. It's going to be a magical night. One of the best nights we've seen in that stadium in a long time. One of the more anticipated games. You can see that on the ticket market. You can see that on the views on the shows we're doing right now. There is so much anticipation right now for this weekend, and these students, to give them a game like this, it's going to be fun.
Does the field storm feel weird when you're a 7-point favorite, though, Sean, as Nebraska is for Saturday?
It's a therapeutic field storm, Jake. It's not about we beat Kansas in basketball or Purdue. This is a therapeutic freaking field storm that happens. Like, hey, we've kind of broken down the dam. Nebraska hasn't won this type of Power 5 non-conference game since the 2016 Oregon game. They have lost every single one of the Power 5 non-con games. So just have fun. It's a rivalry. It's a war. It's a battle of two bordering states, one that has literally put their middle fingers in Nebraskans' face every time for the last 6 years. Have some fun with it. I don't care.
It was ugly. It was ugly out there. You're right. It was ugly at Colorado. God, I'm not going to say it on air again. The stuff I saw, but it was ugly. Hey, Sean, why would it have to be? Can't just people in general storm the field? It doesn't have to be just students, right?
Well, the students generally lead it.
What if a 50-year-old wants to head out?
We're going to get pulled over by Troy Dannon and say, guys, you've made my life a living hell if this thing goes down, because I got to be ready for it.
I think it's hard to get on the field at the Memorial Stadium for the students, right?
You got to jump a fence.
20-foot jump, I think it's pretty far. Jump.
There's a stairway.
Yeah, I don't know. I could do it, but 20 foot's a little bit. That's a little bit.
Well, Sean, maybe we'll see you on the field after the game for the field storm. We'll talk to you next week. Thanks for the time, Sean.
Okay, guys. Thank you.
HuskerOnline, Sean Callahan.